spending 80% of your time not on Handshake, okay? And we're going to talk about where that can be and should be. But don't lose sight of all the fun and interesting things that still will be on Handshake in the spring, okay? So think of the 80-20 rule flips, okay? 80% Handshake in the fall, 20% everything else is out there. We're going to flip that when we get back from winter break. 80% not Handshake. Sometimes we call it a network-focused search, okay? And then there'll still be some good activity on Handshake and on campus in the spring. Does that make sense? Why do you think that is? Can anybody tell me why you think we need to start jumping off of Handshake and seeing what else is out there? Yes, Con. Does anybody remember what I called those, what we call those? Just-in-time job opportunities. And so when is the time though, right? Everybody looks to us as the coaches is like, what's the time? When should I start applying? We really look at just-in-time opportunities post-spring break, right? So when you get back from spring break, it's green light go. Turn on the gas, full throttle, you need to be applying. You can still apply now. There's still lots of jobs out there. For an example, shameless pitch for Capital One, right? Capital One, their jobs are getting ready to close on Friday, or their job, right? They're going to send out assessments in December, and they're going to start interviewing in January and February. Okay? So that's just another good example of how it's not clear cut. It's not black white. Okay? But so most of the jobs, boom, my really fantastic colleague, Ayana, there she is. Raise your hand, Ayana. And then this is Sally. For those of y'all who don't know Sally, you've been hearing from them. Ayana created this graph that shows you the gold line is MSBA, the black line is MSM. And what happens in April? What's happening in April? Huge spike. Huge spike. Most of the job offers for both of your programs happen in April. Okay, there's a little spike in November, which we're experiencing right now, but look at April. Okay? So we want to get you ready now. Any questions about this graph? Anyone? Sorry?
Is it drawn to scale?
Yeah, we're not going to. All right. So we like to put together these fantastic strategies for you, right? A roadmap per se of what you can do to be as successful as possible. So you'll hear us talk about a job search action plan, okay? And this is it's really a breathing plan, right? It's very organic and it's very much breathing, just like your resumes. It's organic. It's always changing, always evolving. This job search action plan is this strategy that helps you stay on task, okay? And it looks something like this, okay? This is the spreadsheet that I'm going to email everyone who's been here at this event. You can see that this is the way, and a student created this, and they were really fantastic to allow me to use it for all of the students. You can see on the left there, they have a list of their top firms that they're really interested in working for. And then the positions that they've applied to are there in that second column. And then he's just kind of kept himself, right, organized by, did I fill out an application? Did I do an informational interview? Did I do a video interview? Did I do an interview? Did I get to offer? Okay? Really great checklist. If you like making lists, you're going to love this. Do you like to make lists? No? I love to make lists. I like color-coded lists with lots of fun different symbols on my list too. And so if you like lists, you're going to love this. And so there on the right side, right, he's got professional to-dos, informational interview at BlackRock, informational interview at Visa, responses to apps at Visa, email to BlackRock, send apps, right? career management to do mock interviews, do virtual interviews, improvements to resume, improvement to profile picture, and then the career fair. And then he's kept himself, again, he's like, every time I make a change, I need to go to Handshake, I need to make the change, I need to make it on LinkedIn, I need to make it on Indeed, these corporate sites, and then those locations. He didn't create this until January. He didn't do a thing in the spring. In the fall. He didn't do a thing. He comes back, he goes, I've created this great job search action plan I want to show you. And I'm like, my heart exploded out of my chest. I'm like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And so he shared it with me on Google Docs. So I could see it real time, and I could give him some suggestions and even make some introductions for him as he moved through this process. All right, so we're going to email you a blank copy of this spreadsheet. You can use it if you want. If you come up with something even better, show it to us. We'd love to see it. Okay? The job search action plan. Does that make sense? All right. The job search needs to look very much like the sales funnel. Okay? Has anybody done sales here? Anyone ever done any sales, cold calling? No? I've been lucky enough to do sales in my life, and this is where I got introduced to the sales funnel, where every time you make a phone call, or every time you send an email, or every time you knock on someone's door, like for a cold call, right? Most of the time it results in nothing, right? So we look at this 1 to 10 ratio in the sales world. So for every 10 phone calls I make, I might get one person on the phone. Okay? For every 10 people I get on the phone, I might get one appointment. Right? So start thinking about those numbers adding up. For every 10 appointments I have, I may get a request for a proposal. So I got to do 10 requests for proposals to get one. So now, right, your funnel, your top of your funnel has got to be very wide, and you've got to constantly be putting things into your funnel. So if you say, I want Capital One, only going to apply for Capital One, my chances are good. Based off some trends and some data analytics, we know that if you're in the MSBA program, your chances are pretty good, right, with Capital One. So I'm going to put all my eggs in that basket. I'm going to do all this work for Capital One. I'm going to practice interviews. I'm going to do informational interviews. I'm going to practice my R and SQL code. I'm going to do all this stuff. And then you don't get it. Your sales, you're starting over, right? So instead of just focusing on that one opportunity, you need to be constantly putting things into the funnel. We're going to spend a little time talking about ways that you can find opportunities by sourcing, mining, okay, for opportunities outside of Handshake. Then you've got to do research. So as things come in your funnel, okay, you may learn Capital One's not for me. It's not in the city that I want, or I don't have any idea what this SQL or R thing is, so this job's probably not for me. So Capital Fund may fall out of your funnel. Okay, so through that research, okay, things will start to fall out. And then as you start to vet these opportunities, you want to start networking, right, inside these companies to try and find contacts, find alumni, somebody you know, somehow, some way, who can help you learn more about those opportunities. And you might not find any, right? So if you don't find any, you still haven't heard from this company that none of us have heard about here at Wake Forest, you might fall out of the funnel at that point, right? Because it's just gone cold, okay? And then as you get interviews, we really want you to practice interviews. We cannot, my coach is in the room, please. Practice it even if you think that you have the gift of gab and you can wing it the best of anyone else on the planet. You will do so much better if you practice with one of us, okay? And we like to see you practice at least 3 times, okay? If you do 3 mock interviews with 3 different coaches, the likelihood of you moving forward in the pipeline goes up exponentially, right? Then we're going to manage offers, and then you only need 1 at the end.
Just one.
Just need 1, right? Just need 1. Everyone who wants a job in this room and in this building and is willing to do the work and sacrifice some of the things on your wish list, right? Every time you put only in front of your job search, it's going to take longer. I only want to be in a big city. I only want to be in healthcare. I only want to do marketing, brand management. Okay? Keep it wide, right? Cast a wider net. Be able to compromise on some of those things. We don't know when and we don't know where, but you will get a job. Okay? Stay engaged with the career management coaches, with MRE, and you will get a job. Any questions about the sales funnel? Fill the funnel? Yeah, we like fill the funnel. So here are some of our favorite websites to source jobs. These are like opinions. Everybody's got them. Okay? And the list can go on and on and on. The World Wide Web is, and I'm going to send this to everyone too. Everybody's going to get a copy of this too. Okay? These are Sharon's favorites. So Marcus may have some different favorites. Ayana may have some different favorites. Sally's going to have some different. You have some that we don't know about. So share them with us. If it's a really great site that you've been able to see some really great jobs on, share them with us so that we can share everyone. But my personal favorites, what do you got, Hank?
80,000.
80,000?
Yes.
That's the name of a website? $80,000 a year job?
No, it's 80,000 is the hours. It's
That's a big number. I wonder where I'm at. I feel like I'm at 95,000. That's a good one, right? So share them with us, right? My favorite is Indeed. We're going to look at Indeed for just a second. A lot of recruiters, a lot of hiring managers don't like Indeed. I'm going to tell you why I like it in a minute. LinkedIn, fabulous. Believe it or not, you can find jobs on Career Shift. If you're not on Glassdoor right now, you're losing some steam, you're losing some momentum if you don't have a presence on Glassdoor right now. Glassdoor feeds me jobs every 2 minutes. I've probably got 14 emails sitting in my inbox since I've looked at it before I started from Glassdoor saying there's a data analytics job that's a great fit for you, and it's not. But I look at a lot of data analytic jobs on Glassdoor so that artificial intelligence is thinking that I need to know, and I do, because you'd like to know, right? So it can think for you, okay? Let these systems think for you. Going global for our international friends who need H-1B visas. There are jobs on there there are also companies on there who have gotten H-1B jobs approved. So you talk about the lottery, right? So even if you apply for an H-1B visa, that doesn't mean you're going to get one. There's only 85,000 available every year. And so we can go into Going Global, we can see the companies, okay, who have gotten jobs, the titles, the salaries, the locations, everything. Why would that be important to someone who is not an international student? Why should you look at Going Global? Why should you look at Going Global? No, kind of, maybe. You can do that on Going Global. Why else? Anyone? Right? If you go on Going Global and you see that Google has hired 250 people in San Francisco, what does that tell you about Google in San Francisco? They're hiring. Right? There's also some nuggets of companies that are Going Global that you've never heard of. Very, really interesting companies that don't have that pop and sizzle and sexy name that everybody's so attracted to. Right? So it's a really great way to learn about companies that you might not have really known anything about, and you know that they're investing in talent. Okay? They're in ramp-up mode. They need people. So if they need international people, it's a really good chance that they need non-international people either. So those are the hidden kind of job boards that we think you should be paying attention to. Lots of kids in this room want to work in sports. Sounds like a dream come true. Teamwork Online is a place where all of, even professional, college, any type of sports marketing, sports analytics, operations, sales, you can see all of those jobs there in Teamwork Online. Quirks is really fun and interesting. It's a database that is not just jobs. It gives you a lot of professional information and a really great learning source. of jobs and market research. So we have a lot of our Master of Science and Management kids who want to go into marketing research, brand management. Tons of jobs on quirks.com, and they're all in that space. Way Up is one that I learned about last year from one of our colleagues, and again, it's like Glassdoor. As soon as you sign up and you start looking at jobs every day, Way Up has another job for you. There's more jobs you should be looking at. And so it's really helpful. And then local chamber of commerces. So if you know that you can only be in, give me one. Who has an only in front of their location? And it's a real only that's not because I want to be in a big city. I only want to be here because my fiance is here. Okay, Rich is good. He only wants to be in Baltimore. Okay? So I'm going to coach him. He's one of the kids that I coach. I'm going to say, you need to log on to the Chamber of Commerce, the Greater Baltimore Chamber of Commerce, and look at all its members. Okay? Hidden job market right there. Some of them even have job boards that members can post jobs for free. Okay? So if you look at the Winston-Salem Chamber of Commerce, you log on, there's a job on their menu, there's a job board. And you can look and see all the kinds of jobs that are available from the members of the Winston-Salem Chamber of Commerce. Okay? My Visa Jobs is another one that has really fantastic information for students who need an H-1B visa. And then the only one I've really ever used that's just focused on careers and analytics is iCrunchData.com. We have a lot of, isn't that funny? It's really, yeah, it's what it is. And it's an aggregate, just like an Indeed, right? And it will, it goes out and it scrapes the World Wide Web for all analytic type of jobs. And we saw these last year. We saw the Disney internships posted on iCrunchData.com before we saw them on Disney's site. And so there's 2 or 3 other ones that are just analytics focused as well. And then as you start to put together your target list of companies, we like for you to start with about 40 target companies. These are 40 companies I would love to work for. Skip all of these. Skip all of these websites and go directly to their corporate sites. Okay? Because they update them every day. They come up and down. But I will tell you another piece of advice. You all have got to re-trigger your brains. Right? I have a college freshman who waits to the last minute for everything. Everything. Drives her mama crazy. You all drive me crazy too. Because you wait to the last minute to apply. Right? It says November 22nd. I've got 4 more days. Right? What happens? They take it down. They'll take a poll. They'll pull everybody who's applied by November the 1st and say, we've got 20. We don't even need to see everybody else. Okay? You will do yourselves huge favors that as soon as you see it, and as soon as you can get a resume and a cover letter ready, then you need to apply. Okay? All right. Everybody following? Any questions so far? I'm going to jump off of this for a second, and we're going to go to a couple of tools that I think are very important in your job search. The first one is Career Shift. Okay? Career Shift is this really fantastic website that not only gives us access to jobs, but it gives us access to people. Okay, and we showed you in the career management courses how to use it. If you need a refresher course, you need to make an appointment with your coach. Career Shift is so vitally important to your job search that you need to have it, saved as a bookmark. It needs to be something that you are constantly in, just like LinkedIn. Okay, because we'll say, have you reached out to so-and-so alumni that I know works at wherever company? And Chris says, well, I messaged them on LinkedIn. I got nothing, right? They're ghosting me, right? Well, that person probably doesn't check their LinkedIn as often as you do, okay? They're not in a job that requires them to network with a lot of people. So they probably didn't even touch it after they got their first job offer. Okay? How many of you have gone to LinkedIn to look at an alumni and it says they're a student at Wake Forest University? Yeah, so frustrating, right? It's like, update your LinkedIn, right? So they're not even looking at it, right? So we will coach you and advise you that you need to jump off of LinkedIn and you need to send them an email, okay? Career Shift is a way for you to get their work emails. Not even their Gmail, it's their work emails. We're going to look at me in just a second. If you don't know my work email, you can go to Career Shift and you can find it, and my telephone number. I have no idea how they got it. I have no clue. I guess their databases are smarter than any that I've seen, okay? And so you will always get someone's attention if you email them at work. Okay, it's the first thing I look at every morning. It was the last thing I used to look at before I went to bed, but now with a college freshman that doesn't live with me, I do look at and text from her before I go to sleep. But I used to be, I looked at my work emails before I went to bed every night. All right. And so, so you want to use Career Shift to reach out to people that you want to network with, okay? And it's really powerful. The only way you can get to it is through where? OPCD. The OPCD. So if you'll look at this up here, it says opcd.wfu.edu. And so what I did is I just came up here and I said OPCD Career Shift. Boom. Takes me right here. And I come down here and I hit Access Career Shift. I've already done it because I had to guess my password. And so most people out in the world of business and out in the world of work do not know what Career Shift is. So if you say, I got your email address from Career Shift, they're going to be like, huh? What's that? Right? So know that it's not a Wake Forest thing, but Wake Forest has paid a subscription, and I think the number I saw,
It's a big number.
it's a big number, right? That for every student, faculty, and staff to have access to this database, there is a big price tag, okay? So use it. We're paying for it because it's extremely helpful. So if you knew I had a job available and you wanted to send me an email, then you can come in here. You got to know my name starts with 2 R's though, right? Sharon Vogler. Look at that. You can send Sharon Vogler an email to her work email. I'm going to look at it the first thing I wake up in the morning, and pretty much one of the last things I do before I go to bed at night. If I still am ignoring you and you really want to talk to me, you can call me. You can leave me a voicemail. And then my voicemail here at Wake Forest also sends me an email. Okay? I'm going to start to pay attention after a while. All right? But I do this for a living, so I always. All right? So Career Shift. You can also see jobs on Career Shift. And so, if somebody tells me about a job that they're really interested in with a firm, I'll look it up. Anybody? Let's look them up. Haynes Brands. Search. All right, you got to do some. Haynes Brands is huge, and they have retail stores all over the country, so you have to refine the search. Okay? So let's say North Carolina. Let's say Winston-Salem. Zip radius 10 miles. Now let's search. E-commerce marketing assistant. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? Right? You probably would see that on Haynes Brands' site, but maybe not. We could do it. Lead business analyst, Haynes Brands. Right? Marketing, such great jobs at Haynes Brands. All right? We can even hit this button here, find contacts, and it will tell me people who work there in that department. Isn't that cool? So, true story. I was working with a student, she was an undergrad, she was a junior here in the business school last year. Was it last year that we worked with, 2 years ago we worked with undergrads? She was a mathematical business major, and she wanted an internship. And she wanted to be in Chicago. She was from that area, and she wanted to live with her aunt in downtown Chicago, and she wanted to work in consulting in downtown Chicago. I'm like, oh boy. So I sent her off, and I said, I can't even remember her name. We'll call her Jasmine. Jasmine, I want you to go and I want you to use all these tools. I want you to come back with a list, right, of companies that you would be really interested in working for that have a presence in downtown Chicago. She comes back with this list. Mercer is one of the places on her list. She goes, I know no one at Mercer. I have no clue how to network with anyone at Mercer. So we went back to contacts and we did a search. And I said, I want to see recruiters in Chicago, Illinois for Mercer. And we got a whole list of recruiters that work for Mercer in Chicago, Illinois. And she emailed them. She cold called, emailed them with her resume. She's still working there today. She got the internship and she got a full-time offer. And so it works. Okay? That's a magical story, right? That's where, you know, we like to see that kind of success. But she probably sent 35, 40 emails to other people and she got nothing. Okay? So it just takes that one. All right? So these are tactics that we can show you, right, when you come in and meet with us. So we can sort and mine and find all these nuggets, and we can help you do it. But this is the kind of stuff where you can spend your time over the holidays doing that research, putting together these strategies, reaching out to people. If you're going to be in New York City and you would love to work in New York City after you graduate from here, you're going to go on holiday, right, to New York City, set up some coffee chats with alumni who work there, who live there and work there, right? People will grab a 10-minute cup of coffee with you, right? You need to make it as easy on them as possible, right? This is the kind of stuff, right, that will move your job search forward very, very quickly by using some of these strategies, all right? So that's career shift. That one should be one that you live in. The other one is LinkedIn, which I think is very underutilized by everyone and just extremely, extremely helpful. And so you can slice and dice this stuff so many different ways. But I personally like the alumni feature. And so again, this is going to be a little bit of a refresher, right? But if you are looking to work, I don't want to do Baltimore again. What's another one that somebody wants to work in?
Charlotte.
Charlotte, North Carolina. That's a good one. So I did a search. Y'all saw me do it. It was Wake Forest. You got to pick the right one or it doesn't come up right. This guy. Okay? Pick this one with the crest. And you'll know you're right if it says, when you hit alumni, and it's in the 440,000. Yeah, 45,749 alumni. And I can tell you where they live. Look. 3,776 alumni live in Charlotte. Where do they work, you ask? Funny you should ask. We know where they work. 199 of them work at Wells Fargo, 154 at Bank of America, 80, you get this picture, right? Right? Then if you keep on going down, you can see their profiles. All right? And let's say, are any of these on your target list? I don't know your name. That said Charlotte. What's your name?
Jake.
Jake. Any of these companies trip your trigger?
They were.
Give me one.
You can hit Red Ventures.
Okay. All right. Let's say that Jake is really interested in Red Ventures. You can come down here and we can see anyone who is currently working for Red Ventures or who has worked at Red Ventures in their past. Okay? And there they are. You can see I'm first connected to a couple of them. You can connect with them. And what's the rule when you connect with people? What's my number one rule? Send a message. Send a note. Jake, I'm Jake, Wake Forest. I'm in the Master of Science and Management program. I'm extremely interested in Red Ventures. I'll be in Charlotte over Christmas. I would love to connect with you and learn more about the opportunities at Red Ventures. Okay? If that person ignores Jake, what's Jake going to do? You're going to go to Career Shift. He's going to find his Red Ventures email address. He's going to email him. Okay? Do it, Jake. I bet you get a coffee chat with someone at Red Ventures if you do it. Okay? Y'all get it? Like I said, you can slice and dice this stuff so many different ways. Outside of the alumni, you can go into jobs. You can, like all day long, Baltimore, Maryland. right? And I can even hit all filters, and I can say, I only want to make $80,000 a year or more. I just want to see the stuff that were posted in the last month. I want to see only full-time opportunities. Any or all of these?
Columbia, Fort Meade, and Annapolis. Yeah.
Not Bowie?
No.
Okay.
Too far away.
If he only wants to be in healthcare, and he only wants to do, I don't even like function, I don't want to do that. And then we hit apply. Oh, and we can even do a keyword search. And cool. Let's see what happens. I can see an operations research analyst position. I have 5 connections that work there. Right? Senior cyber analyst at Raytheon. That's a cool job. Hewlett Packard. We could do this all day, people. It's so fun. I love doing this stuff. Like I could get, it's like a rabbit hole. Like I get Alice in Wonderland. 5 hours later and I'm like, oh, I've learned all this stuff. It's so fun. Such a nerd about it, all right? So that's LinkedIn. Indeed is one of my personal favorites for that same reason, right? Because you think of Indeed. Indeed is so sophisticated. It goes out and scrapes every single job that's out on the World Wide Web. Now, some companies have really tight firewalls. Does everybody know what a firewall is? That says you can't come in. We're not letting your scraper scrape our database. Very few are like that, so it's not 100% of all of the jobs that are out there on the World Wide Web, but it's, I'd say 85% of jobs. And what happens is it's scraping multiple sites. So if I had a job that I posted on Wake Forest career site, right, for a career coach, they're going to pull that job from Wake Forest's career site, and you'll see it in Indeed. We also posted it on this this professional, I guess, affiliation called NACE. We posted it on several of their sites, so they're going to pull it from NACE too. So if you've ever looked in Indeed and you see repeats, you're like, I just saw that job 14 times. Why is it showing up 14 times? Because Indeed saw it 14 different places on the World Wide Web. Okay, does that make sense? All right, but again, it's this rabbit hole. Everybody wants the cool, sexy, everyone wants what Facebook, Google, Amazon, name them. Marcus, I mean, EY, Deloitte, Bain, McKinsey, Disney, we can go on and on and on. Everybody's so attracted to these firms, and they're great places to work, and I say go for it, okay? So does every other college, right, entry-level applicant. They all want to work for those firms too. So the competition is very, very, very steep, okay? There's more jobs and more opportunities in the middle market nobody looks at. Nobody wants to look at wellnessity. Nobody wants to work at, give me another one. Cigna, I would say, might be a little pop and sizzle. Hmm? No, I can't think of it.
I can't think of you, of course,
right? But what I think Indeed allows you to do is to identify those, right? And kind of mine for those kind of opportunities that you wouldn't necessarily think of. Okay? So as you sort and filter in Indeed, you know, it's just like this trail of information and knowledge that you're like, oh, I found 3 Elon alums that work for Honeywell, right? Pimpin' Honeywell today too, right? Next free lunch opportunity is Friday on your day off for job searching, right? That's why we give you Fridays off. And we're going to have a lunch and learn on Friday, and Honeywell's going to be here. All should be there. Right? That you might not have thought of before. And so it just gives you access to this middle market and even startups that have jobs that you may not have ever even heard of. You'll find them on Indeed. All right, so those are Sharon's favorites. Sharon's. Anyone else have any favorites?
Like Zippia.
Zippia? Never heard of Zippia before. Zip Recruiter. There's so many. All right. So, as I'm starting to wrap up, we cannot stress to you enough to keep building and nurturing your network. Okay? Your net worth is your net worth. Okay? That's the caveat. Like I said, the magic beans, the secret sauce, the magic wand, all of it is through networking, okay? So by the end of winter break, I want everybody in this room to connect with at least 25 more people, okay? You get stretch goal of 100 more. That's 125. There's 180 between MSM and MSBA currently in these two programs. Okay? How many faculty and staff are there in the school business? There's not 4 too many. 200? Maybe 150, I don't even know. They were all upstairs having Thanksgiving together. Right, start there. Start with your classmates. Go, like, ask your career coach. I'd love to connect with, someone in employer relations.
I would strongly encourage you all to look at the School of Business website and look at who's here and then connect your T-School with people that are in the areas you're interested in, right? So it might be a faculty on the undergrad side that does research or works in the space you want to go into, and definitely employer relations.
They know all the employers.
Lori Sykes, Dana Hush, all the folks that give you email from, wow, no email, oh my gosh,
Amy Bowl,
Lori's, not Lori, Lisa
Stuart
Simmons.
Neese.
All those emails, those are the people that go out and talk to the employers.
Go invite them for coffee. They will love it. They love working with students. They love it. Okay? They know all of the employers. And the employers ask us all the time for advice and for information. All right? So here are some other ideas of how to network with other people. Your parents,